My mic stand's just gone all floppy. Oh, it's in fact just broke. Almost entirely. Hey there, Rebus Forever here. Gotta start everything like that. Them's the rules. I was given this by one of my Patreon supporters a while ago. And I've always had a soft spot for the Z95 Headhunter. And I mentioned in conversation that I really like this spaceship. And lo and behold, the Patreon supporter got it for me. Which was really, really kind of them. And thank you once again. So, like, Merry Christmas to everyone. But I guess I'm going to give this to myself. I've liked it ever since when I was tiny. I used to spend a reasonable amount of time looking through this book at Star Wars, almost blueprints, but not quite. There is a book of blueprints I also used to look through, but I guess if there was a book like that, I was going to look through it. Anyway, somewhere at the back, because it's alphabetical, we had the Z95 Headhunter. Let's make sure that's roughly in shot. There we are. And I really love this. It's like a budget X-Wing. The wings don't separate. They don't know how. It was a prototype for the X-Wing, and just like the Y-Wing, which is sort of ugly and gnarly. I kind of like this for the same reasons. Anywho, this one, as you can see, looks slightly different. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side if I re-edit this. But I love it nonetheless. It did unfortunately come out before I started being able to collect LEGO Star Wars. And now I have it. So I'm going to try and build this in one session. But I have spent the previous 2 hours trying to make this stream work, drinking a bit. So I'm not entirely sure if finishing it is realistic. I'm certainly going to make a jolly good effort at starting. Comes in 3 bags, it seems. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wasn't expecting them to be numbered. I thought the older sets weren't. This is the first thing that I've owned with the larger sort of Technic style projectiles too. They seem to have fallen out of favour. So, you know, I'm going to at least get some of the less exciting internals done before, I know, it all seems fairly modular. So you build the frame, you build the various parts, and then you're going to plop them all together, I expect. Anyway, we don't need those at the moment. And I'm going to put the stickers to one side, because I might save putting those on for a time when I'm in a possession of better judgment. So yeah, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, because I've never built a LEGO set before whilst trying to record. Oh no, that's not true. I have. Okay, well, just pretend I didn't say that. Right then. I imagine this is a good sound. I'm trying to do it away from the microphone, but there's only so much you can do. I'm going to have to look up when this set came out, because I thought this set was old enough that it was going to have the slightly older style instructions. And I don't know when they started adding these to a bag of things, but I thought that was relatively recent. So some people, when they build LEGO sets, like to organise all of their bits out. Whereas I think that robs you of the enjoyment, of the frustration of looking for a bit for like 20 minutes. Oh, I almost had to look for that bit down the back of the desk. Okay. let's just break down the pile. It's great. How's the camera angle? That's all acceptable, I guess. So I'm hoping to do this more often and try and force myself to get into streaming insofar as like not clamming up every time I put a camera or a microphone in front of me unless I've got some sort of script or I'm editing something back. I'm going to have to watch out for pet hairs because one of my dogs likes to molt on everything. Okay. I mean, it's going to be tough to say very much about this stage, especially with a modular build like this, because it's just going to look like nothing. But I quite like the design, like the build method, and I'm surprised I haven't seen that more. Okay, so back to this. Apparently I've got to make that bit levitate in the air. I shall put those to one side and grab the next couple of long black bits. And now that will stick there. That's how Legos work. I missed a few bits there. Getting the fighters was never as important to me in LEGO as the capital ships, because I'm a big fan of the bigger spaceships. But there are a few spaceships, fighters like or bombers, like the Y-wing, A-wing, anything with a bit of like greebling on it. Although also I'm a fan of TIE fighters. Probably I just like most of it, to be fair. Trying to act like that I've got favourites, it's probably just lying to myself. I wouldn't say no to most LEGO spaceships. I mean in terms of owning them. I'm trying to add some sort of overtone there. How is there already pet hairs on this? I just opened it out of a bag. One was reasonable, but like, that's the second one. And I am missing stages all over the place. I expect at some point I'll get something really, really, really wrong and not be able to work out what I did. I'm looking forward to that. Let's make a bit of more space for the instructions. So I mean, if I could record a broader space without the camera quality descending into, I don't know, the sort of quality you'd expect if you were in hell or something, I'm kind of limited to this sort of fairly enclosed space, at least for the time being. I did try using DroidCam to use a phone cam as a webcam, but the quality on that was worse still. It was impressively bad. I mean, if I edit anything out of this, I'll throw a few shots of how bad DroidCam was, and maybe someone can explain to me what I'm doing wrong, which, for it to be as bad as it is, I assume I must be doing something wrong. How many of these do we have? And they're all the same size. Now, I flatly don't expect anyone particularly to be watching this as I do it, but there is always that vague chance that in time someone will watch it. So I'm hoping someone's going to come in at some point that I've asked, and at least confirm that the audio isn't absolutely terrible. I feel fairly... Are my eyes working? Free intersect. Yeah, that looks right. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I'm confident now. I also have my suspicions about what I'm going to find on the next page. Oh, it's a bit more complicated. I was expecting it to be identical. I also apologize if my earphone music, I'm experimenting. I'm under the impression I'm going to be able to get away with listening to music without everyone or anyone else hearing it and incurring the wrath of YouTube. Ah, that's a knobbly that. I'm having to look around the camera, which is less fun, or as much fun as you would expect, depending on how realistic your expectations are. They go in there, or that goes in there. Nope, need to look at that more closely. Well, I'm learning a lot of things about how I need to have this set up were I to do this in the future. Because I reckon, if you're watching, you're going to want to see the instructions a bit, and you're going to want to see what people are doing. Mostly, and probably a bit on the bits. Whereas at the moment I'm leaning towards a sort of best of no worlds sort of situation. Thankfully, that's all shaped up to look roughly about right. I can see I've missed another bit back there. I'm going to have to keep the instructions closer. It's causing me to make mistakes. So trying to organise this any more than it currently is would be a bit of a faff with this camera. I need to be able to pull it back somewhat further. Two of those. On step 12 now. Obviously, not counting any bits that I've missed. You hiding under there? Okay, well let's reduce the amount of bits that are here. As much as I don't like to organise things at all. Where's some little legs? I'm going to move the chunky gun and the projectile, which has led to the discovery of some tiny legs. I can put that to one side also. And now I'll make everything into a pile that's equally impossible to navigate through. Okay. Excelsior. Now I'm back to having the problem of the instructions being a little bit too far away. Oh. It's a case of not looking at my hands at all. That's a particularly noisy swallow. That will be enjoyable to listen to. Okay, so now we're cooking with gas, which is an expression I don't think I've ever used before in my life. Little grey on, there you go. Super. I'm sure all this dust isn't, like, from me. This tray was clean, I thought. I've been using it to store models as they've dried after I've painted them. So it would seem weird to me if it was covered in any sort of dust at all, particularly. Or at least disappointing when I look back and discover loads of models are covered in loads of crap. Okay, so more sort of meaningless internal parts. Really gets the imagination going. So this stream was supposed to be at like 8 o'clock, more so. And I've obviously ended up doing it about 10 o'clock. I might try and make a thing of doing this more regularly. And earlier also. More so around the 8 o'clock mark, if this late even. How... It just seems inconceivable to me that there's dust and pet hairs on this already. The dogs aren't even in here currently. Just makes me feel like everything's saturated in them. Okay, so, you know, here's a cockpit. That means something. It's not just bits to attach stuff to. Is that round the wrong way? No. Oh, okay, that's better. Just had a dread concern I had music up too loudly throughout all of this. Gonna need the gun bit sooner than I expected. I can't even remember the range. I've never seen one of these before. I'm not sure what sets they're normally found in. I'd assume one of the sort of giant robot things that they have. Never sparked my imagination. I'd like to say I was too old for them at the time, but here I am at an older stage in my life, building this. Don't feel I'm in the strongest position of judgment. I think that's right. What next? Ah, okay. I was experiencing a mild state of confusion, and then I saw I was supposed to flip it over. Need another L-shaped piece. And to pop one of those in there. Okay, that doesn't feel very secure, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. I feel like I'm supposed to leave more for it to latch onto. So I'm going to distribute that central bit more. I'm not sure. Not one of them technical Lego builders that knows what all of the bits are called. But you know, good luck to him. You're not supposed to be you. I've seen people build Lego who spend a not unreasonable amount of time organising everything beforehand, and I admire that. But again, never done it, and I'm pretty sure it would not, in the end, actually save all that much time. Feel free to comment about how I'm wrong. Plus, if everything's spread out across the desk, it's got to increase the chance of something rolling onto the floor. Okay, there's now not enough to keep that on. Need to poke that through a bit more. And then back to here. And off it goes. I'm going to feel pretty disappointed with myself if I start finding constructing a Lego model overwhelming in any state of mind, really. Stop falling off. Okay. I've now prevented it from being able to disobey me. And that's going to pop down and be some sort of bomb. Okay, there's a sticker there, but I will do that later or something. Okay, so bunch more technical stuff, technique stuff rather. And a bit of repetition. So I'll do those at the same time. I assume these are going to hold on the wings. Do you wonder how long this would take me if I did just try and blitz it all in one go? I'm tempted. Obviously there's no one here to confer with, so I just have to make up my own mind, I guess. And I assume that's got to go on round about there. And so it does. I can see what I've forgotten to do there. Yeah, I really must check, because like these bits feel like a slightly more rigid plastic. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm really curious as to when this set came out. I really thought it was a lot older. I've definitely built a set that's older than this, that's Star Wars related. Just not sure which one. I kind of expected this was going to be the oldest. It's coming together fairly quickly, and the other bags don't have loads of bits. I do enjoy building Lego. I am just conscious of not wanting to make this into a massive long stream, especially with it being a festive time of year. I think I wished everyone a happy Festivemas, or whatever. And more sort of an experiment. But what I do really love about the Lego models is the finished piece. Sort of enhanced by the fact that it's realised in Lego. I mean, sure, I'm fine with like a model of a Star Wars thing too. I'm not going to say no to a model or something you assemble yourself even. But I like the Lego aesthetic. And apparently so do lots of other people. Which is why they still make these models. I'm a tiny bit sad this model's a bit sleeker than my first sort of introduction to Z95 Headhunter from the book. But just to have it is glorious. There really is no adequate way of saying thank you sufficiently to the person who gifted this to me. But you know, jolly big thank yous and whatnot. After this bit, I'm going to check to see if the tray's dusty. Because, I don't know if you can see, but like, that's really dusty. I'm going to have to give this a spray with some computer cleaner after I've finished it. Did I pick this up for a reason? Send your answers on a postcard. I think it was just to demonstrate the point about it being dusty. Boop. Stage complete. We want to pop these, one of those out the back. Not very much securing on this back part so far. Hopefully that will change promptly. Oh well, my hand just gave up functioning there. Okay. I know it might look like I'm being a bit of an obvious goth with the black nail varnish, but it's actually got gold pigment in it, so it's sort of festive, sparkly. So, you know, ho ho ho. You know, if anyone does listen to this, do remember that this is me trying to become comfortable with streaming, not being here because of my own sense of how awesome I'm going to be at this. Or even if the audio for this is going to be mildly acceptable. Back one. And now a sub-build of sorts. I don't know why I say of sorts, it's a sub-build, it's just, you know, little. It's probably a more correct term for that. So, I managed, nope, haven't managed to lose something. Always build on a tray. I just don't trust desks. I don't trust any surface without a lip. I mean, for Lego purposes, that would be a strange rule to have for all of existence. A couple of these bits. Oh, well, that's not a good sign, is it? That implies I've done something gravely wrong at some point. Probably deep within here. So I reckon that fiddly bit that I was confused about here was actually supposed to be this bit. It would have been longer and worked better. So how shall I do this quickly and without ruining my nail varnish? Well, that's the second concern dealt with. These things are really useful, but I'm going to need to get my nails under there. Unless the edge of here works. Get in. Off you come. Still though, there's a bit from the side needs to come off. How much of this upper layer can come off in one peel? Well, I wasn't expecting this process of streaming to go without a hitch, but I wasn't expecting the hitch to be me not knowing how to do Lego. Okay, that's one of the bits I need to get out. If not the only bit. Oh no, I'm going to need to go in both sides. Yay, failure! Okay, let's go back. Some distance. Yes! It's definitely the black bit. I did think it didn't make sense, to be fair. I had an inkling. That something didn't feel quite right. Why can't I get that in there? There you go. And it feels like this is a real life version of Snakes and Ladders when you land on a massive snake. There might be like a faint sense of disappointment emanating from me right now, if you can pick up on that. Sorry. Flip that over, pop that in. But you know, it shouldn't be too long. That way up, absolutely not. I appear to have made some other error. Chiefly that is upside down. Okay. Isn't this going well? Now we got one of these grey bits. Voila. And that's about the most continental I've been in my entire existence. Kapow! Might mute next time I have a fizzy drink. And you're at the front. This is some really ham-fisted Legoing. Apologise to anyone sensitive to poor hand-to-eye coordination. I feel like this would have gone together by now. I mean, that's effectively what they ask you to do. It's not like I'm trying to force too many connections at once. Okay, that's right. I'm always more conscious than perhaps I need to be of breaking things. And swallowing. In that sense, I meant the audio sound of swallowing, because I realise afterwards perhaps someone could add other connotations. Let's make those identical, and hopefully that will make some sense once I turn over. Guessing it's going to be something like that. I mean, obviously that's all going to go together in the same way that I just took it apart from. But I'd have to turn the page to find out how. So I settled for rebuilding it, which I feel on balance probably wasn't the most sensible decision. I need it flat. There we are, it's on the end there, so... I will just go along with the instructions from now on. Oh no, that should be fine. Tiny bit confused. Yes, I've made another error in my host. This is going fantastically. At least this, you know, makes more sense. Someone rushed, someone made a mistake. The other time I realized something was wrong, but didn't have the confidence to pursue that. Either way, getting Lego wrong really makes you reconsider the benefits of streaming Lego. This has got to be the equivalent of failing some sort of aptitude test. And it was all going so smoothly such a short time ago. Okay, I think I've almost caught up with where I was at before I failed. Fantastic. I'm very, very proud. Now then, this other bit that I'd already done. And now back to the last bit. Oh, that feels wrong, but it looks right. I shall probably shoot myself with that at some point. Alright, now I've just jammed it in there. Gonna have to remember to make sure that's depressed before firing, otherwise it's gonna get jammed. This time there really should be two of these. That makes me think that I must have left it in there? Seems improbable. Either way, I'm not making a strong argument for putting Lego together on a tray at the moment, am I? That can stay not on the tray. Let's have a look under the tray. Ah, there it is. Indeed. Next to the tray. What pleases me is that I didn't immediately take everything apart. And where do you want to go? Ah. Well, I called that. Slightly worried this is supposed to have some sort of mechanical connection to the firing mechanism, which I don't really see at the moment. And on part 2. How long did this take? The better part of an hour. So, yeah, I'm going to call that a pause. So, thank you once again for this. Hello there. This is going to be the second part of the Not Just a Toy build of the Z95 Headhunter. It's still Wednesday, so I have not failed in meeting my target of doing this on Wednesdays. But my computer just sprang into life as if it's rendering all of the things in the universe, and I forgot about this. I won't deny. So I've got to do a spot of clearing. Just pretend this is like some well orchestrated spoiler, rather than absent-mindedness, and we will all be golden. This won't take very long. Okay, so this is all going to plan. It has been a very real trauma seeing this sitting on a shelf, barely even begun after my failed attempt at streaming this previously. Well, the streaming worked okay, it was more the building that I suffered with. Just promoting this in the Discord. I say promoting. So, Happy New Year and whatnot. Okay, yeah, I think that's right. Probably just sent people a link to my dashboard. So we were on bag 2, because bag 1 took me more time than it really should have. There we go. And let's see if this camera angle... Gosh, that's blurry. Is that the best you can do, camera? Have a little refocus. Well, this may in fact be the best my camera can do for now. There's quite a lot of glare there. Let's move this around. And the camera along. And there's still more glare. Okay, glare might be unavoidable. Anyway, let's proceed. Some good rustling sound there. I think I'm too loud, but I won't know until I listen back. This is my first experience of using my new microphone, which I'm not aiming at myself even remotely. Let's give it a chance. More good sounds for the listener. My mic stand's just gone all floppy. Ah, it's in fact just broke. Almost entirely. Let's see if I can bodge this back together. Gosh, this is going well. Okay, well I might add a mic stand to my Amazon wishlist. Sometimes it feels like I'm just not supposed to stream. Yeah, I think my mic stand's just literally just now broken. Is there any way I can wedge a microphone in this? My mic stand is not the most expensive piece of equipment in my setup, so I can't fault it breaking. It was more a sort of experiment in mic stands, see whether or not they really made your life easier, and they do. I recommend a mic stand to anyone that uses microphones. Just not this mic stand. Not sure I have a fix for this. All I'm really able to do at this moment in time is stare in bewilderment at my microphone stand. I think I might cancel this for now and come back to this if I work out how to make my microphone stay where it should, because you can't build Lego one-handed. Okay, well hopefully I can get a bit more done this week. Let's check camera 1. That's laggy and pretty bad, but we have an establishing shot. Welcome to my desk. Welcome to my new microphone. And let's see if I can switch to the other shot. Golden. Well, I am excited. Let's move those stickers. And let's pop a slightly grotty coaster there instead. Okay, well that's my Discord promoted to. Let's get this done. I have to excuse the rather tatty nail polish. I have been doing a whole bunch of painting. But like, you know, who's after tiny little boats? I have a camera in front of my face, which I expect will become inconvenient, or carry on being inconvenient. Just headbutted the microphone. Let's try and move that back a bit. Okay. Hopefully that hasn't massively altered the sound. There we go. Must work out a different situation with mounting the camera, but this is an ongoing experiment to try and work out how to do this. So I think the instructions were visible from the other camera angle. Here, but I think also this camera angle, this camera is awful. This is via DroidCam. Use DroidCam at your peril. Also, not entirely certain whether or not the music in my earphones will be bleeding into the stream. I will have to listen back for that. I was not expecting this to take me 3 weeks to build, I have to be honest. I thought this would be like one session build. It's been really, really difficult, not just building it off stream and saving it for the stream as originally intended. Okay, that's one of the faces of the core dressed. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure this angle is up to streaming or anything, at least with this camera setup. But I'm always off improving that in any meaningful way. But for now, I'm going to switch to the other angle. I have more faith in it. I'm always worried I've like muted myself by accident. Although there are probably some benefits to doing that. Come on. I really want to get all of this done. And just have the completed model. So this is the nose section that looks probably more different than any other part to the original design of this that I remember. Oh, I'm looking for completely the wrong piece. That said, I'm pretty sure the original had 4 engines too. So maybe continuity isn't something you get to expect. Oh hey. I'm not even sure where chat appears. Oh, there it is. Okay. If someone was here, I could hypothetically respond. That's that bit done. I'm beginning to worry that my original casual attitude towards not sorting bits and pieces isn't looking like it's paying off for me as I dither. But, you know, sorting stuff out takes ages. Maybe one day I will experiment with it and time myself against a similar model, which would be a difficult metric to achieve because the same amount of pieces doesn't necessarily have any relation to the complexity of the model. But I feel like I've already done more than in the last couple of streams. I almost made myself really sad there by creasing the instructions. Okay, peering around the camera is certainly not very much fun. I must find a better way of filming things like this. But you know, I'm learning. That's what this is about. It's a learning experience. Except when my microphone breaks or some other calamity befalls me. Like now. That looks right there. Ah, I'm trying to put it somewhere it's not actually supposed to go. Okay, well, onto the weird red forward steering, like winglet. This most certainly didn't feature in the originals that I saw in the graphic novels or wherever it is that I saw this, first of all. I did say in a previous attempt at streaming, I am not intending to put the stickers on now. I will put those on when I don't have a camera in front of me, and I'm going to be less prone to making a mistake I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. I take the stickers fairly seriously. Okay, Mr. Man's not needed, nor is the cloak. Looking for a flat. Two by one. Which I'm not seeing. Ah, these are the glorious moments of Lego. I haven't lost any bits. I know this factually. Everything stayed on the tray. I've only used 2 so far, and I've just confirmed that they're where they're supposed to be. Well, that's rare. I've never actually had a piece not be there for a Lego set. Sort of don't believe it. I am shocked and aghast. Yeah, it's definitely wanting another 2x1. Well, let's have a look in my bits box. Wasn't expecting to need this. Probably not going to be able to manage a direct one-to-one replacement. Not owning very much white Lego myself. For now, I am mostly just looking for a flat 2x1 panel piece. I didn't want to have to pull this out. No, Lego on the floor. I thought I'd really planned ahead for this one. Tested the camera, tested the volume to a certain extent. Ah, but you know what? I found a spare white one. That's a victory. And this is a hideous sound. Enjoy. Okay. Let's rescue any floor Lego now. Okay. I mean, I guess I'd have to be lucky that I managed to find the right colored piece. Which surprised me. Next up, another missing piece. I hope not. Hopefully that's just a joke. I'm gonna get super sad if I end up damaging the manual. Okay. That's pretty long. That's too long for this camera angle. Okay, so those two bits. Let's see just again just how bad this other angle is. It's pretty dark. But you know, that's quite big. I think it's longer than the X-Wing already. Now we need some long black flat pieces. So, just in case anyone was wondering, I've not given up on my other channel. It's just I feel more comfortable experimenting with things like streaming here as opposed to there, because of all of the issues I keep having. I feel quite validated in that, because I'd sooner annoy 18 people as opposed to 300 odd. Which I think makes complete sense. I like the shaping there. Looks pretty smooth. It's a shame they can't carry it on more, although I guess it would look a bit like a boat. I'm tearing through the pages. If they keep on doing things where there's only like one or two things to build. Okay, that looks like it's on wrong based on the picture. And that's flapping around. I'll just assume that's fine for now. Little fiddly bits. You can go to one side, man. And we want a couple of these. Hello, Mr. Lego Stone. Gordon Lego Bricks. I'm not entirely sure what that alludes to. If you're still there, let me know if the audio is acceptable. This is experimental at best. I think that's correct. Absolutely it is. And we want another one of those. So just for context, if anyone's joining me for the first time, and I doubt anyone's joining me, but if anyone is, anyway, this was given to me by a viewer, and as such, was a fantastic surprise. Oh, I've done that wrong. But they gave it to me sometime last year, and I've been wanting to build it for a very long time. But all of my experiments with attempting to record Lego had met with fairly unsatisfactory results. Having only just sort of got to the point where I can borderline present building some Lego in a way that I'm sort of happy with, I've done it now. You have to excuse the jankiness of all of this. It's the best I could manage. Okay. I cannot believe it's taken 3 or 4 streams to get this far. Again, I'm not doing the stickers now, because I don't want to mess them up with the camera in my face. But that's the main body taken care of. I really, really like it. If I put the stickers on now and did them wrong because of the camera being like right here, I'd be really sad, and you'd hear me say words I don't want to say on this channel. Okay, so can we get that in there? No? There we go. And bam. Now we want a tiny nubbin. Still feel like I've probably done something wrong, and there should be some interconnect between these two widdly bits. Although there's a widdly bit there that's not connected to anything, so maybe I'm doing okay. We'll see. Next up, the landing gear. Ah, okay, they were landing gear. That's what those widdly bits were. I assume that the weapon mechanism isn't tied to the landing gear. That feels like a design flaw. So, that one's on the right way round. That one is not. Because I'm an idiot. Okay, well, this does not feel like a stable landing gear. Let's see if I can get that to function. Oh, it works better than I thought. I mean, it's definitely a bit floppy, but it can only flop so far forward. No, that works. I take back my skepticism, if I can. The rear legs are a bit high though. That's a very downward slope. Anyway, I'm spending a bit too much time focused on this. Let's get some more of these little bits used. Micro build time. It's annoying when it feels like your hands stop knowing how to do basic things just because you're streaming. I struggled putting those two bricks together way more than I ought. Do these have a home? Looks like they're free bits. Or accidents I made. Whoops. Okay, so this goes there. Nice. Would make a pretty cool dragster. Coffee's nice. One's bag free. Oh cool, another little clone. Thought there was only one clone figure in the box. Nope, 2 clones and a Jedi. Anything else? Nope, just the 2 clones and a Jedi. Well, this looks like it will be a pretty quick bag to do. So, we put the disc on the long sticky thing. These are technical terms. You'll be able to use these for searching parts on the interwebs. Pretty certain. This is going to require being done twice, or I am required to do this twice. And not sure either of those are. Okay, so firstly, coffee is fantastic, and secondly, let's get on with bag 4. Oh man, the joy at nearly having this Lego set complete is immense. I've had it in a box for, I think, almost half a year, at least 4 or 5 months, I guess. Wanting to build it, but just having totally insufficient camera equipment for it. I made a couple of attempts here and there. Oh, I should probably turn the page. Just, you know, I want it to be visually like page 4. 4 streams, very small Lego set, we're finally there. Anywho, back to the here and the now, and the very now. Okay, so this dude's got all the arms. I don't know why he's got different coloured sleeves though. If I had 4 arms, I'd probably wear tops that had the same coloured sleeves. And not different coloured gloves too. I thought Jedi tended to build lightsabers based on their sort of personality. So this dude wielding 2 lightsabers and them being 2 different colours. Does that suggest that he's got, I don't know, some sort of diagnosis pending? Okay. There we go. He's pretty tall. You might have thought I was going to say cool then, but tall's, he looks like sort of alien centipede. Except less of the digestive tract remains intact for the first monster. He's maybe got digestive tract in his face, I don't know. Either way, I'm totally unfamiliar with this character. I will have to look him up at another point. It looks like he's the only Jedi that could beat Yoda in like a competition to see who looks most like a frog. Well, really, he's more sort of like a toad. Anyway, this isn't getting a wing made, is it? There's nothing wing making about that. Got lots of detail on this wing being provided by flat tiles. This isn't organisation. Anyone that accuses me of organising can take that back. Okay. Don't slide off. Thank you for sliding off. I had really assumed that there was going to be some sort of unforeseen issue with this stream, as there has been Even when the issue was just me. Every other time I've tried. But I'd say so far, you know, apart from the absence of any people, I assume, this is going pretty well for me, for one of my streams. This is a positive experience. Oh. I'd done an error. That's the error undone. I am tearing through this. I mean, I'm probably making it seem like I don't enjoy building Lego. I do, and never have stopped, which probably, you know, I took a break. But in terms of building Lego on a stream, this is a whole new experience. I've never had to like sit still and talk to myself whilst building Lego. I tend to watch something and do my own thing whilst building some Lego. So this is a bit like, you know, my normal experience of building Lego, but minus all of the relaxation. If I scratched this, I would be sad. Come on. There you go. That's a nice wing. I mean, again, it doesn't really compare with my memory of the Z95 Headhunter from, like, blueprints and technical specs and such. But I do really like the design, as envisaged by Lego. Just seeing how well the landing gear tucks up. Pretty well, to be fair. That'll do. Hope that stops being flappy at some point though. But yeah, no, I like that a lot. I'm gonna run out of space to put it though. And lastly, well, not necessarily lastly, I think there's a good few pages left. I'm really sure there must be some sort of mechanism to make the weapon less floppy. Slightly different on this side, I think. No, identical. I thought there was a 2x1 grey bit on this side. But I am mistaken. That's wrong. Well, this is pretty awesome. I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't look like enough pieces to... I think there's weapons on the wings. There nearly always is. In your Star Wars. I feel like if I was supposed to put these in the other side, I didn't. So I shall have to go back and fix that. So the rest here should pretty much be the other clone I haven't built yet, and something to do with the weapons. Okay, and I didn't put the bits in this end. I haven't checked to see if I was supposed to have, but I think it's a pretty safe bet. I'm gonna have to watch a video that someone else has made to find out if the weapon's floppy. The under... What's the word for a weapon? Held underneath. The big rockety thing that goes underneath it. At the moment it flops around and it's a bit silly. I want to make sure that that's the way it's supposed to be. That was so eloquent. I'm so proud. I hope in future in life all of my sentences are said as well. Ah! Okay, that needs to go down way further. And that was supposed to go on first. I wish I looked at the instructions better. And I can't even blame the camera on this occasion, because the camera doesn't cover that bit. Bam. Let's get another one of those done. I'm going to be terribly sad if I find I have done something wrong earlier on and have to go back and take this apart to make the weapon less floppy. I also want to stop saying that sentence, because I do want to stop saying that sentence. Right, let's not make the same mistake again. Although, I can't pick the piece up anymore, so that'll stop me from making that mistake. Uh-oh. I've never accidentally broken a Lego bit whilst building a model. But if I ever do, it's going to be one of these long, thin plastic bits. So I can guess that that's going to go on there. With my amazing powers of precognition. Which leaves the other one to go on this side. Yes, okay, so let's pop the weapon in there. Okay, well, I will literally never see that again. That's definitely just flopping. I will need to investigate what I've done wrong there. But that aside, Z95 Headhunter. If I make a video of this, I'll edit in what I've done wrong. I'll work it out and get a few different shots. But thank you for your time if anyone watches this at any point. And thank you to the person that donated this to my channel. Or rather my other channel, Rebus Forever. That's where my gaming stuff is. And have a happy new year, everyone.